Have you heard of Ivan Raiklin? This guy calls himself Donald Trump's Secretary of Retribution. And according to him, on a podcast, he says he has a list of 350 deep state individuals who he wants to try to assassinate by tricking police into killing them with a SWAT team. And apparently I'm on the list, or at least people like me are on the list. He says they're explicitly gunning for journalists, and specifically on the list, he's got CNN, The Washington Post, Reuters, and Raw Story. And I write for Raw Story, so I don't know if my name is on the list or not, but the publication I write for is certainly on the list, and Raw Story publishes my stuff all the time, frequently. So this guy, here's what he said. He said, expect to see live-streamed swatting raids of every single individual on the deep state target list because the precedent has already been set. He said, look at my entire deep state target list. This is the beginning. This is scratching the surface of who is going to be criminalized for their treason. Okay? I mean, this is serious stuff. And this guy is not some, just wackadoodle. He's very, very tight with Trump and with the whole, right-wing movement. And, it just, I don't know. It's the calls for violence that have been coming out of the Republican Party. Donald Trump reposting, the picture of Joe Biden tied up in the back of a pickup truck with a bullet in his forehead. Marjorie Taylor Greene and her repeated pictures with guns. The calls for Second Amendment solutions from Carrie Lake and Sarah Palin. Donald Trump in 2016 saying, that if Hillary Clinton becomes president, she's going to appoint judges who are going to take away your guns. Maybe some of our Second Amendment people can solve this problem, or words to that effect. I'm paraphrasing from memory, but it was almost exactly that. It's in today's art. It's in my article today. The exact quote. This stuff is stuff we need to take very seriously. And Republicans need to take this seriously as well. Because the Republican Party is not entirely made up of MAGA people. You've got the Adam Kinzinger. I subscribe to his Substack newsletter. It's very rational. In fact, his newsletter went out this morning that said, Donald Trump is not a conservative. And he went through this whole long list of things that conservatives believe and then he pointed out in every single one of them that Trump believes in something opposite of that. Now, I disagree with most of those things that conservatives believe, but Adam Kinzinger has a point. Trump is not a conservative. He's not a classic Republican. And in fact, he was a registered Democrat until he decided to run for the Republican primary. So, number one, we need to take this stuff seriously, but the Republicans, number two, the Republicans of good conscience, the Republicans who aren't terrified into submission, and I realize there's very few of those people who are willing to speak out, who are willing to risk their political careers by speaking out, because Trump takes them out. I mean, they lose their next primary just as predictably as the sun comes up. I think there's 2 or 3 never Trump Republicans left in the House and Senate. And he'll get rid of them too. I mean, the purge is on, the night of the long knives, right? Without the violence, without the killing. But the people like this guy who are talking about violence and killing against, politicians, against bureaucrats, against reporters,